In the summer of 1961, a shadow fell over Berlin. It wasn't just a political line on a map. It was a scar of fear etched into the heart of a city, a nation, and countless families. Overnight, Berlin was torn in two. One moment, you were neighbors. The next, you were citizens of hostile worlds, east and west. And between them, a wall of concrete and barbed wire began its brutal ascent, a monument to division. In a small, quiet apartment in East Berlin, a woman named Martha Weber watched this new reality unfold. At 78 years old, her body was frail, but her spirit was forged in the fires of history. She had lived through two devastating world wars, witnessed the rise and fall of empires, and had seen humanity at its worst and its best. Now she found herself a prisoner once more, trapped not by a foreign enemy, but by the very country she had always called home. Her world was just on the other side of that wall. Her daughter, her grandchildren, their laughter, their hugs, all were now in West Berlin, a world away. For weeks, Martha stood by her window, a silent observer of the grim theater below. She watched the stoic guards with their rifles, the ever-growing fences, and the desperate souls who gambled everything for a chance at freedom. She saw some get caught, their hopes dashed against the concrete. Others simply vanished into the night, their fates unknown. The sight broke her heart, but it also hardened her resolve. One evening, looking out at the barrier that held her captive, she whispered to the empty room, her voice trembling but firm, "If I die trying to be free." This wasn't a wish. It was a decision. The time for watching was over. Late one night, under the cloak of a moonless sky, Martha made her move. With only a small bag containing a few precious mementos and her trusty walking cane, she quietly slipped out of her apartment. The streets were eerily silent, a stark contrast to the storm raging in her heart. She moved slowly, deliberately, each tap of her cane on the cobblestones echoing like a drumbeat in the stillness. Her plan was both breathtakingly simple and terrifyingly impossible. She knew of a small, forgotten utility tunnel used by maintenance workers long before the wall had sealed the city's arteries. It ran deep beneath the dark waters of the Spree River, a secret passage from east to west. It was a relic from a time of unity, now a potential lifeline. But no one had dared to use it since the patrols had become a constant, menacing presence. It was a fool's hope, a desperate gamble. It was her only chance. As she neared the disguised entrance to the tunnel, a sudden, sweeping beam of light cut through the darkness. A patrol. Martha froze, pressing herself into the shadows of a building. Her breath caught in her throat. Her heart pounded against her ribs so loudly she was sure they could hear it. The light swept past, lingered for a moment, and then moved on. The world returned to silence. She waited, counting the seconds, then exhaled. Taking a deep breath, she lowered herself to the ground and crawled into the black, gaping mouth of the tunnel. The darkness was absolute, a suffocating void. The air was thick and damp, heavy with the smell of wet earth, mud, and raw fear. She moved forward on her hands and knees, inch by painstaking inch. Her old bones ached, her hands trembled uncontrollably, and her knees were soon raw and bleeding from the rough ground. It was a slow, agonizing journey through the belly of the earth. At one point, fumbling in the dark, she felt her small bag slip from her grasp. For a heartbeat, she thought of turning back for it, but the instinct for survival, for freedom, was stronger. She left it behind. The memories were in her heart, not in the bag. She had to keep moving forward. Time stretched and warped in the suffocating blackness. Was it hours? Minutes? She had no idea. All she knew was the gnawing pain in her body and the single burning thought in her mind: get to the other side. And that she saw it, a change in the darkness. Not the harsh, artificial beam of a flashlight, but a faint, gentle, golden glow up ahead. It was the first light of morning, filtering down into her subterranean world. Hope, warm and real, flooded through her. She had made it. She had walked through the dark heart of fear and was emerging into the light. When Martha finally pulled herself out of the tunnel on the west side, she was covered in mud and blood, exhausted beyond measure. People saw her, a frail old woman emerging from the ground like a ghost, and they ran to help. They wrapped her in blankets, gave her water, their faces a mixture of shock and awe. Someone gently asked the question on everyone's mind. Why? Why did you risk your life at your age? Martha looked up, a weak but radiant smile spreading across her tired face. She spoke, her voice raspy but clear. Because freedom is worth every step, even at 78. In the years that followed, Martha's story became a quiet legend, passed in whispers and then told openly across a divided Berlin. She wasn't a soldier or a politician. She was the old woman who defied the wall. Her incredible journey became a powerful symbol of hope, a testament to the indomitable strength of the human spirit. Her story resonated not just with those trapped behind physical borders, but with anyone, anywhere, who believes that it is never too late to choose your own path, to fight for your own freedom. Today, if you ever visit Berlin and walk along the river where that terrible wall once stood, you might find a small, simple bench. On it, a little plaque bears a name and a simple, profound inscription: Martha Weber. She walked through fear. A tribute to an ordinary woman who, in one brave night, reminded the world of an extraordinary truth. Thank you for watching. If you were inspired by Martha's story, please like this video and subscribe for more tales of courage and resilience.